Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Come on and shout it. I talk, you talk, we talk. Women talk life. It ain't no surprise. Baby, you could see if you would open up your eyes. You won't understand if you can't open up your mind. So let's stop wasting time when women talk live.
And welcome to another episode of Women's Talk Live Overnight, y'all. What's going on? What's going on? This is our third week. So nice. So excited. So excited.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. But hey, listen, we ain't new to this. We true to this.
That's true.
Radio station, the radio show, and then we do the live TV. So we wanted to do a little something different. Not so much like the radio show or the TV show, but kind of like getting a little bit more of our experiences when we talk about things, like stuff we experience as women. Because a lot of times, you know, I think if you can hear somebody else's story, then you kind of feel, okay, I ain't alone in that.
No. So. And I think between the three of us, we have almost 200 years of experience and a lot of things.
Right, exactly.
And a lot of things. So
exactly. All right, so today we're talking about entrepreneurship. So, oh shoot, I've showed. Okay, got that out of the way. All right, so we have our little known Twitter fact. Well, not Twitter, but little known
Women Talk.
WTL facts. Okay, so our first one is there are coffee houses in Russia where food and drinks are free, but you pay for time.
What?
You pay for time to sit there and eat.
Oh,
and drink.
Okay.
You pay for the time.
I wonder what that price is if the food and drinks are free. Because, I mean, it's Russia.
Exactly. Well,
and what do you see? I don't know. I don't trust it because it's Russia. So what exactly do they have to give up? For that, other than money, we know it's a dictatorship. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know.
We're on a slippery slope to it.
Exactly.
Over here in the US, so
Jesus help us. Yeah. But our next one is in 2000, Blockbusters. Now I know, you know what Blockbusters is, but a lot of people
Hollywood
may not
Video.
know.
Yes. Remember both of them.
Yes. Blockbuster used to be a video store where you can go and rent actual VHS tapes. And then they went to DVDs. So you can rent them. You rent them for a few days, couple weeks, and then you bring them back. That's what Blockbuster was. They're no longer around. But in 2000, they turned down a chance to purchase a 1-year-old company called
Netflix
for $50 million. Today, Netflix is worth $528 billion. Billion. And they had a chance to buy it for $50 million and didn't.
Now, I'm going to tell you a fun fact because this was during, I think, 2011, maybe 2010, 2011. When I was working at this company, a coworker was talking about Netflix. And he was like, yeah, you create your queue and then they mail you the DVDs. And then when you finish watching it, you mail it back. He said, I think it's a pretty innovative idea. I'm going to invest. At that time, Netflix stock was maybe $4 or $5. My dumb ass did not invest. And at that time, he was buying for $4 a share, you can buy 100 shares, 200 shares. I think by the time I left, he had about 5,000 to 10,000 shares. I said, if he held on to them,
oh my God,
he's retired now. Because it's a dividend giving stock.
It is.
So he held on to
he can live off the dividends.
He can live off of the dividends. He's created generational wealth.
Right.
I
Exactly.
have no way of getting in touch with him. But I thought about that when I started looking at everything with Netflix, even with Amazon, he had invested in, at an early time. So I just wish I had have listened to this person,
Well, you want to know what's
and I didn't.
crazy? Years ago, right when Netflix started, um, actually did invest.
Hmm.
And I invested in that, Apple, and Walmart. And as it kind of grew, I never held on to them.
Exactly.
Because we were starting
You're
WPB.
entrepreneur
Exactly. So
journey.
I cashed them out, made a nice little profit. But I said to myself, and I had 100 shares of Netflix. Yeah, because at the
Woo.
time it was only $4 and something.
Right,
Get it?
right.
Walmart was another one that I had owned years ago. Had almost 100 shares. Even Apple had 50 shares. I said if I had just kept a hold of those things,
You
but
think
I
about that.
didn't. And now I kick myself because I said I should have held on to them, even though
Mhm.
you know I don't know what
Imagine how
happened when I
many
got divorced. But I mean, either way,
but, but you think about how many shares you would have had, because over time, from beginning till now, how many times have they split?
yeah, when you split, you get double the shares.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So how many times did they split?
Yeah,
So that's some of the things to think about. But when
right.
it comes to entrepreneurship, a lot of people don't understand that it's someone like our beautiful April J, who turns an idea or a product into a profitable business where they take on all of the risk, right? And you get all of the rewards. So some of the things that they need to consider, which I'm sure April did, was um, you have to be a risk taker. You have to be willing to take on that risk, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be opportunity driven. So you have to understand that opportunity. You have to see it. You have to keep going, because being an entrepreneur is take a lot of dedication,
Yeah,
perseverance, determination, and understanding that you're going to fail 100 times and you might be successful once.
right.
But you have to get up and brush yourself off and keep
That's
going.
true.
You have to be
That's true.
innovative.
Right.
You have to think about, what do people need? What is it that they don't have? What niche can you fill that people would want? You have to have drive and passion about what it is that you do, because when you do it, it's not really work.
Yeah.
This isn't work for us,
Exactly.
the TV show, the podcasting, because we love doing it. So the business landscape can be very dynamic, and entrepreneurs need to be adaptable and resilient to navigate changing market conditions and challenges. So 16% of minority owned firms are within the transportation and warehousing sector.
Oh,
Minority owned firms are least concentrated in educational services, finance and insurance, and wholesale trade sectors.
wow.
It's not something our community talks about when it comes to finance. We talk about education,
Right.
but we don't talk about how we can extrapolate that piece of education that we can then flip into, being an entrepreneur. And I
Yeah.
see a lot of people, that don't look like us in the educational field as college consultants,
Right.
helping them navigate the college application process, which is extremely lucrative,
It is.
you
It.
know,
Yeah.
or being a tutor. STEM tutors are in high demand. And
Mm-hmm.
now you have the AI sector. I have a friend in Cali started this company. It's all about AI. It's all connected to AI and helping um, children study and get better adaptable study habits. And now he flipped that, and the focus is on getting children to code in AI.
Wow. And
Yes,
that's the upcoming thing now. It really
it,
is.
AI is going to replace a lot of us, and I hate to say that, but it is. But when it comes to black women, One, we're living in an era with a um, executive administration that is doing everything that they can to dismantle everything related to Black people. Understand, people. This administration was never about the egg prices. It was never
Mm.
about the gas prices.
No, it
It was
wasn't.
never about that. It was all about how to make life harder for Black peoples. You other minorities, you white adjacent minorities,
Mm.
the ones that just found out that they Black too, y'all were just
Well, I
collateral
mean,
damage.
in all actuality, it's going to be like in a lot of these third world countries where it's going to be poor. You're either going to be poor or you're going to be
You're gonna
rich.
be rich.
It's not going to
And
be any more middle class.
no,
And I think it's more of a class type of thing that we're going to, because it's not going to
we're
just
there.
hurt Black people. Because I mean,
No.
if you think about it, us as Black people, I mean, we know what it is to struggle. We know what it is to not have and have to just make do with what you have.
Right.
But you have a lot of white communities who may have, that don't know what that's like or don't
Mm-mm.
know how to navigate through those challenges.
The
And
majority of the communities don't
no, they
understand
don't. They really
because
don't.
we've always had to re-budget and
Hmm.
pivot,
Right.
re-budget and pivot for 400 years. And the goal is to do whatever it is they can. And that one, I don't even want to name their names, say their names, but they've gotten rid of 260,000 jobs.
Yeah.
260,000 government employees lost their jobs, and the
Hmm.
majority of them were Black women.
Yeah.
The majority of households are headed by Black women. So
Hmm.
they've taken that Black wealth and now they've decimated it and removed it. And the other piece to this whole nasty process is that ageism and sexism in the hiring practices is very real.
Yeah.
It's
But you know
very
what?
real
I say to myself, I said, sometimes things happen
for a reason.
for a reason.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking that now, where you have a lot of consultant firms that are popping up now,
Hmm.
um, and that are used by not only the federal government, but state and local governments,
Hmm.
it's an opportunity, really,
It is.
for people who have been in these sectors, who know these sectors. I mean, I worked in both local, state, and federal. So it's like a lot of the knowledge, because when you fire these people, the knowledge don't stay, it goes with them.
Exactly.
So I mean,
A lot of
what's
knowledge
this?
walks out
Yeah,
the
so
door
you
from the
may
same.
you may not hire them as a government employee, but you may end up hiring them as a consultant and paying them more money.
Hmm.
So
Now the consultancy piece of that is you're paying your taxes and your health care,
mhm,
and as well as funding your retirement fund,
mhm,
which you have to be prepared for. And those are the challenges that minority owned businesses, they have those unique and significant challenges, which is limiting access to capital. Didn't the architect for the Heritage Foundation just sue a minority owned fundraising group that was
right,
targeting specifically Black women? They sued them
mhm,
saying that it was discriminatory against
right,
y'all white folk. Now, understand, everything is built for your success.
mhm,
Everything in this country is built for white people to succeed. So if you don't succeed, you're a fucking idiot.
yeah, pretty much,
You're a fucking idiot.
pretty
Your
much,
credit
pretty much,
score automatically starts out at 575,
mhm,
automatically, just because you're white. You know, you have generational wealth that we didn't have access
right,
to.
exactly,
Papa and mama can give you 25, 30, 40 grand to go and start your little stupid company that you want. You know what I mean? And then you'll make a rack of money
mhm,
off of it.
right,
We don't have that. And for some reason in our community, it is frowned upon to give your family member or your children that lump sum of capital.
Yeah,
And I think that's a mindset we got to get out of.
we
We
have to.
really and truly need to get out of it because we're already under the bar as it is. And if you have $50,000 and your child wants to buy this house and they're short, what's
Hmm.
stopping you?
Exactly. Exactly.
If they have a
Yeah.
great idea for a business, I don't understand that. Like, what is stopping us
Right. And I think
from
that's the
doing it?
thing, because even when I started getting into media at the time, nobody was doing this
No.
podcasting, blogging, uh, online radio, online anything, online content. Nobody was doing really this. And so I was trying to figure out something that had no precedence, that just nothing. Like I had to figure out, okay, how can I do this? And at the time, it was just like, okay, who's going to listen online? People listen to traditional radio. But in my mind, I'm like, everything is being geared towards online.
Everything.
This is not going to be where people tune into traditional radio. It's just not. And so once I did start it, and then it ended up doing being online radio, that's when it started, like people started recognizing, even traditional radio started recognizing, okay, oh, people
This
are
is a
starting to
thing.
navigate to online, and to be able to just pick up your phone, listen, watch. I mean, now, like my kids, they watch everything
Mhm.
online.
Everything.
Everything. They don't watch traditional TV. I mean, granted, you had cable and all that stuff, but
Mhm.
they're mostly watching Netflix, Hulu, and then now they have YouTube TV. So it's like even these cable companies can't compete. So it's like
Which is why the bill is so damn high.
yeah. So it's like now you can just have internet, and that's all you need. That's it.
So you found that you realized in your journey that this was a niche that you could fill. And listen, I was with you there.
Hmm.
I saw terrestrial radio coming over and looking
Exactly.
at you
Trying to
and
figure
seeing
out.
what you trying to
Yeah.
figure out what it was that you were doing because it was extremely successful.
Hmm.
Extremely successful. Even now, people talking about, oh, everybody has a podcast. Everybody does have a podcast, right? But how much traction is each one getting?
Right.
And so if you can get 1,000 people to listen to you, or 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, you have a following. People think and value what it is that you say.
Right.
And podcasting is very limited money. It's your laptop, it's your microphone,
Mhm.
that is it.
It's really not,
That,
it's really not a whole lot to put
no.
together a production. But the one thing I think people lack is that they don't do the proper research
For the
when
topic.
they're talking about something. And this was always something that bothered me. Even to this day, it's just like, how can you not do your research? I get you want to talk about popular things that are going on in the news or the media, or in there's a whole lot of other stuff. But oh shoot. Okay. Look like we have KL.
Okay.
Hold on. Um Hey KL. Are you driving?
I just left the hippodrome. Did I just pop my damn? I just popped my ponytail holder. It's been a hell of a day, yo. I did something for Carmelo Anthony last night. I didn't get home till 11 o'clock after being up at 4:30, and this morning I was up at 4:30 because I had to be the hippodrome stuff had to be there, and it was just me.
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
oh my
Okay.
god,
Okay. All right.
I got a break.
We
Oh,
get
and when
it.
I
That's
might
that's
get
the
back
life of
now.
an entrepreneur.
Hey,
That's the life
listen.
of an entrepreneur.
Hey, listen. At this end of the day, this is something new because KL is an entrepreneur, and these are some of the things you have to do as an entrepreneur. Got to get up
Um,
early. Got to stay
yes.
late.
You got to hustle. You got to make opportunities. Got to take
Exact.
some risks. Yep.
Exactly.
All the above.
Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah. So just as a thing, it's like even for me, it's like when you do these things, I think you have to be responsible. You
You
can't
do.
just say things or like, okay, if it's your opinion, it's your opinion.
Right.
Everybody has an opinion.
Oh,
So, I mean, but when you're putting out there, you putting things out there that are wrong or false, then at the end of the day, you're only hurting yourself, or you're only hurting, well, you're putting information out there that could be detrimental
You're
to
damaging your
people.
brand. And it's one of
Exactly.
the things when I started radio, I started on Blog Talk Radio.
Mhm.
But even then, not knowing what I was doing, I tried to do it every day.
Mhm.
And I realized that was a full time job.
Right.
And I can't do it every day because I need to research topics. I need to write my script. I need to, even as we speak now, I have you on this screen. I have my information on the other screen. I got all of these tabs open that gives me the information
Mhm.
that I need. I've always been very, very diligent about doing the research for every show,
Mhm.
regardless of what it is that we're talking about. And you're
Right.
right. You have a lot of people that don't do it. Podcasting and online media is a business. It's entrepreneurship. But like you said, you need to be responsible with it. You just can't, be going out there getting sued. Like a lot of
Exactly.
podcasters are being, sued because they're defaming people's name.
Mhm.
They have these liable suits that are against them, and some of them will never learn until they're completely financially decimated.
Right.
I mean, if I had Cardi B suing me, I'm gonna shut the hell up and keep her name out of my mouth. Period.
but they figure, what is it? All press is good press.
But it's
So,
not. It's like all money isn't good money.
oh no, we know that, but it's still people out here that still feel that way. They still think anytime that their name is mentioned, it doesn't matter. That's worth it to them.
Mhm.
So
But is it
But
worth it
I
to
don't
your
care.
brand? If there was something negative about breaking bread, and you, as the face of breaking bread, was not counteracting that information, saying that is unequivocally false, your brand would be damaged. You're not out here talking about other, because I'm sure in your industry, KL, you know a lot of shitty caterers. You you know a lot of shitty restaurateurs,
mhm.
but you're not out here talking about them in a negative way. You just say, "Oh, top of mind." I'm not going to do that because you don't
I
want to
don't put
affect
anybody.
your brand.
I don't put anybody's business down. I don't like if people ask me, because I refer people. If I'm not able to do a job, I will refer to another company that
Okay.
I feel can represent and do the job that they want. And some people like, do you have any opportunities? And I don't, because I can't trust that you're going to show up how you need to show up in regards to presentation, quality, um, safety.
Professionalism.
Yeah, all of that. We
Mhm.
just had a conversation for one of the event spaces that I host, and the guy was telling me he had to fire a girl because she was twerking at an upscale golf fundraiser that they took the catering for, and she's twerking at the bar.
Mhm.
So you never know. I mean, it's not her business. So,
But she was representing a business.
and
Yeah.
they had to, people that owned it happened to be there, and they were like, "Yo, unacceptable." And I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine having somebody represent my brand that way. Like, because you really don't get a second chance, especially as minority businesses, because we have such a deficit of funding opportunities, of mentorship, of really I would say the ability to cost analyze, for example, like K-Grow, which is the Korean Grocers Association, because they all are collective, they get discounts on the food and stuff that they use. They get discounts on insurance, but because there's no African American Growers Association, like we pay more or less the regular wholesale price. We don't buy in bulk because we don't build like that. And so of late, there's a lot of opportunity where I've been trying to get smaller businesses to just sign on and, we build up a team so that we can do those things and get those discounts and have that buying power and have that affinity. But it's hard, especially for minority businesses. A lot of people, like even today, I did this on my own. Today I worked since 5 o'clock this morning by myself. I worked yesterday from 4:30 in the morning till 10:30 at night by myself. But it gets done.
Mhm.
But the toll it takes.
Yeah.
I'm late for my women's talk call. I'm
but
tired.
but but it's something that we understand. But KL, when you say that, then you're doing it by yourself. And are you having when you how can I put this? Do you have opportunities to have people come and help you, even if it's not at like a main event? Have you tried testing out, like having like going to the culinary school and asking for like an unpaid internship, so that they can get the idea for those that want to look into catering and see what catering is? You said there's no opportunities for mentorship. Have you put that out there and been like shot down because you're a minority?
Well, I think that, let me address the first part. The lack of staff, you can get staff. It's just hospitality in and of itself is a hard job to get quality people, to get people who really aren't into it for the gig economy, because it's hard. People are rude. Like the service industry, it's not even the job itself, it's having to deal with other people, so
Mhm.
on and so forth. So it's really hard to get good people. I'm fortunate enough that the kitchen that I work in, I see other people with their businesses and how they work. So I offer their people opportunities when they're off to come and make extra money with me. um, with regard to the mentorship, like we've always done, for example, youth works. During the summer, we would take the maximum number of kids, and I believe at the time it was five. Even though we didn't have a lot of business during the summer, it allowed us to sow into those kids, to teach them, resume writing, to teach them, how to stand in a space, to teach them business finance, to teach them regular finance. And the city pays for it, but you would be amazed at how many job places won't hire youth work kids. And you get free access to these kids. You can teach these kids anything. And yes, they can learn a trade and things of that nature, but you really have to be diligent and you have to be on all the time. And it's hard if you're working in your business and not on your business. And so
Right.
for the past couple of days, I've been working in my business and not on my business. But it does, being in certain places affords me the opportunity to sell my business, because we don't market. Most of the stuff that I get is, generally all the stuff I get is word of mouth. I've never had a marketing plan. I've never done advertising. Everything that we've done has really been off of word of mouth.
But then that speaks to the brand. That speaks to you. The fact that you haven't marketed and word of mouth is getting you in these doors and in these spaces. That's a testament to you, your work ethic, and your brand. And people see that.
Yeah, to kind of go back to what you were saying before, and I think you find this in all industries, is that I think us as minorities, black people, we don't realize the amount of power that we have. We really don't. And I think if we as business owners in our industry would band together and really get a collective, we can really do something, like really move something. But we have a lot of, and I'm not saying
Egos.
all entrepreneurs, but you have a lot of people who are afraid to partner or afraid to do anything because they're afraid that you're going to interfere in their business. You're going to take their idea. You're going to try to, and I'm like,
You're going to
I don't
move up
want,
faster than them.
yes,
That's the
it's like
fear.
at
You're
the
going to
end of
get
the
more.
day, I I'm never going to do it the way you do it because
Right.
I'm not you. And you're never going to do it the way I do it because you're not me. We're going to do things differently. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean necessarily it's right. But if we come together, and I've tried, trust me, I have tried this with different media companies, and it's always been this ego thing, this I don't, want to share. And then, and I hear this from other business owners. I've heard this from a cigar owner that wanted to ban all of the black owned cigar businesses together. Hey, let's start buying the Padrones. Let's start buying all these let's get a big account
The
and start
Arturo
buying. Yeah.
Fuentes,
But
the
nobody,
$500 a box.
everybody has an issue. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what the hell? We just literally single-handedly shut down
Target.
Target. So it's like we can't take that same concept and say, hey, let's do what they did back in the 60s, back in the day when we all did get together as a community and build up our own communities. We just won't do that. And if we realize that if we stop spending money, how badly it hurts some of these businesses. It hurts everybody.
It hurts
But
everybody
black
because
people
we didn't just
continuously
hurt
spend
Target.
money.
We hurt the suppliers that go to Target.
Yes.
And unfortunately, some of them were black owned small businesses that you didn't go to Target for, but you pivoted and went directly to the source.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, for at least in my industry, people are so, I don't want to say selfish. I don't want to use that word, but everything is so clutched to the chest. And it's like you can't, they feel like you're gonna steal their idea, or they don't want to miss this opportunity. But what people don't understand is people eat every day. People order food. It's so much business out here. Like, I can't feed all the DMV. As much as I would like to, as hard as I try, I can't do it. And there are certain things that I'm not good at. Like, for example, we do Caribbean food, but if, for example, I have a lady who's doing her daughter's Sweet 16 party this weekend, and she wanted Caribbean food. And I would love to do that, but I know a Caribbean person who could cater the fuck out of that event. And so I told her to call her. Why? Because I could do it, but it wouldn't show me in my best light in terms of
Right.
the stuff that she wants to have. I would rather get that opportunity to somebody that I know can appreciate it, will use it, and we do different things.
Right.
And that's what people don't understand. Like, everybody make wings. You ain't making sticky wings. I don't care what you call them and how you doing. My wings is my wings. And so that's
Yes,
how I
indeed.
feel.
And they
Like,
are
you know,
delicious.
yeah, thank you. But yeah, for me, I'm like, you may see what I do, and you may have seen it done, but you never seen it done like this. This is what God gave me to do. That's why everybody can't just open a restaurant. Everybody can't just start a media company. Everybody can't just write a book. Those are things that you should, theoretically have a gift for or a talent for. Like, the things that you try to do as an entrepreneur should be the things that you enjoy doing, something that you feel like God gave you that talent for. And that's how you thrive. Like, I would cook if nobody bought food. I would still cook and feed the homeless because I did. I love cooking. Like April. April's great with media. She loves being that focal point and telling the story and giving perspective. And Sassy, even you, in terms of your authors, like that, you create these characters that bring to life other people's real life issues. Everybody doesn't have the ability to do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I decide tomorrow, oh, I want to be an author because Sassy an author, and put out some BS, that's because that's not my gift.
But you
But
can be an author and put out your recipes, and that is a cookbook. You have
I won't be
recipes.
doing the party.
What'd you say?
I said I won't be doing the party.
You'll be doing a party cookbook. I mean,
Oh,
I'm just
look,
saying that
okay,
you have. I'm sure you have a million recipes in your mind, right?
that's
The things that you've created, that you've tested on your family, that they're like, this is delicious, and then you go out and you add it to, even if it's only a half a pan, that you was like, I'm trying this out, let me put it on there? Because I know when my cousin was heavily catering, he would try things and just create a half a pan, and he would just give it to whoever catered or whoever hired him. And he would just put it up there just to see how it would go over as to whether or not he wanted to add it to his menu. And some things were a hit and some things were not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
But I
right.
mean, that's just the idea of it. So,
Yeah. All right, y'all. Oh
oh,
man, we could
that
go
went
on and
fast.
on and on, but we are actually running out of time. But I think what I want to do next week, because this is something that is really big in the news, and I think people really don't get a clear understanding or really know. I do want to tackle this big, beautiful bill, because I think
Ah,
people really don't understand what's in this bill. I really
they
don't think
don't
people
because they
get it.
didn't read it.
No, they
They
didn't.
didn't read the
They
bill.
didn't. They didn't. And I
The
actually had
Congress people didn't even
25.
read
They
the
didn't
fucking
read
bill.
that either.
no, they didn't. So I think that'll be something that we should really kind of tackle
Oh, that's
next
gonna
week.
be good. Put
All
that
right.
poll out. What do
Yeah,
you want to learn about the big beautiful bill?
there you go. All right. So my final word, and this was a quote from Bill Gates, which I thought was very interesting. He
Okay.
said, I choose a lazy person to do a hard job because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it.
You know what? That is kind of ingenious. That's an ingenious statement because a lazy
It
person is
really
gonna
is.
Yeah,
they're gonna want to work smarter and not harder.
exactly.
Yes, I
All
get that.
right.
I like that
All
one.
right.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So this is Women's Talk Live Overnight with your girl, April J.
I'm your girl, Sassy Scribe, the birthday girl.
And this is KO Boogie on that entrepreneurial journey.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. All right, y'all. And oh, real quick before we go, I forgot. The top things your mama never told you. Number one, real quick, is how to set boundaries. That was number one.
Okay.
Number two was how to manage money.
Ah,
I can relate. That's
I
number
can relate
two.
to that.
And number three was realities of self care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Those are
next
good
week,
though. Thank you,
yeah.
people. Those are really good.
Yeah. So next week we're gonna talk about, our poll for next week is, what are the 3 challenges you face as an entrepreneur? That's gonna be, give us three things, and we're gonna tell you what those are next week. All right. So see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Women talk.